Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, and welcome everybody to Final Fantasy V Solo Character Challenge Run with the Berserker. We have managed to get past the most difficult parts, let me not forget the timer, and we are now here about to enter the Forest of Moor with a level 88 Berserker, because that's the level we had to get in order to defeat Soul Cannon. And now we're just slowly making our way through these parts of the game. As a heads up for anybody who may not necessarily know this game, Final Fantasy V allows you to switch and choose any job basically on any of the 4 characters you have in your party at any point. However, there are various challenges, such as the Solo Berserker here, which basically you take a single character with a single job and try to play through the game with this. This is our Solo Character Challenge number 16, and the Solo Berserker is by far the most infamous of all of them, because it is virtually humanly impossible to complete the game with that, for all I know. I've been having a script running in the background attempting to beat the final boss since a long time and still no results. It, I think, racked up over 5,000 attempts at this point, and well, this is kind of the ridiculous that we're dealing with. We spent 72.5 hours just beating one of the bosses about a fifth into the game, because we cannot control our Berserker in combat, and yeah, by the way, most of the other solo character challenges are a lot more reasonable, except for maybe the White Mage and maybe the Geomancer. So here we are. Hi Ghoul, thank you for the good luck. And thank you Ghost Eye. How are you doing? And if I may ask, what were you doing over there? So in case you see the chests on the sides, basically most of them contain money or other things I don't really care about. We have so much money because we had to grind for such a ridiculously long amount of time. That is not exactly a concern right now. And thank you, Yet here. Welcome to you as well. I hope you're having a nice day. You're doing good, you just PB'd in Persona 4 Gold. Nice. For anybody who may not know Ghoul, I recommend you check him out because it might be quite worth your while. Lots of good games over there and also quite a nice personality. Congratulations, that's really neat. So yeah, and by the way, Final Fantasy V has never been officially released on the Super Nintendo for English, but this is still the original version of it, so this is why I'm playing this in Japanese. I don't really know Japanese. I know certain characters, such as like this first character of this enemy here is Meh, but then I don't really know what the second and the third one are. But yeah, we're just slowly making our way through. Also worth noting, we cannot run away from enemies in combat with a party of characters that are berserked or dead. So that actually poses a little bit of a problem for... Oh, I went up too early. This poses a little bit of a trouble to try and get through areas, especially when random enemies actually are dangerous themselves, one way or another as well. Mammon? Is it a mod? Fuck it, it's me. It varies, it's very possible. Oh no, it's a ma, isn't it? I'm a derp. So... yeah, for some reason I thought it was Meh, the first one, but Meh is the weird X thing. Not entirely sure why I thought something else. I actually have a really weird way to remember that first symbol there. It looks like a cat ear if you look at the symbol, and I was always just thinking of a cat named Martha, so it's just Ma. But for some reason I thought it was Meh without thinking about it now. Have we beaten the Sandworm? Hey Pucciaroni. Yes, we actually beaten the Sandworm quite a while ago. That was like 42 hours in, which was also a big hurdle, but nowhere near as huge as the Soul Cannon ended up being. The Mummons can cast Berserk on you. That may not be the super threatening here. Yeah, actually, in this case, Mammon trees, or the tree thing is, they cast Berserk on their allies. Like just a random ally in this particular case. It's always an ally. Well, generally speaking, always an ally. Ooh. Alright, as long as that attack does not blind us, we're fine. Oh, we are immune to blind, never mind. Thanks to the bone mail. Oh no, mute, your greatest weakness. Yeah, we can't use the battle cries and battle shouts to sing our enemies a sweet lullaby now. Too bad. Attack please is a thing. Apparently it is. You feel like muting a Berserker makes it more terrifying? I agree. Which is part of my character concept that I came up with. Is a barbarian for D&D that instead of getting loud would become quiet. Yeah, I cannot see that in my own chat either, it's just in the chat plugin that I can see the attack please. Probably better Twitch TV, yeah. Yeah. In this case I'm actually using a dagger, because the Air Lance dagger here is by a pretty large margin the strongest weapon we can equip right now for just most consistent damage output. Axes in this game, unfortunately, are mostly quite bad for two reasons. One, pretty much all of them have a rather high chance of missing, with the current axe we could buy having a 20% chance to miss, which is just way too much. And then again, they would ignore 3/4 of the enemy's defense. But I'm mostly one-shotting them anyways if Ferris doesn't attack the enemies in the back row. So that's not exactly much of a concern. And then they have also a 50% damage swing. They can deal half damage up to 150% damage, which is a pretty wide damage range. So unless I specifically want to ignore part of the enemy's armor, a axe is not a particularly good weapon. The chest on the left contained like a drink for the alchemist. The chest on the right contained like it was an ether, I think. Either way, this is an elixir. Refreshes our HP and MP to full, which we cannot use in combat. It's usually one of the best assets in combat for solo characters to just heal to full in one turn and also refresh their MP. Berserker cannot really do that. But Berserker has so much maximum HP because we are so ridiculously overleveled that it's actually a lot nicer to use elixirs rather than high potions outside of combat to fill up our HP. Oh, by the way, another thing. Axes, generally speaking, have a relatively bad chance to hit, right? At least compared to other weapons. On top of that, daggers are not just usually stronger. Even in straight raw attack power, daggers are usually better, which is kind of silly. On top of that, dagger also have the property of reducing the enemy's evasion by half. I mean, in short, daggers are straight up the strongest types of weapons in Final Fantasy V. Also, that was an attack called Breathwing, which deals 25% of our maximum health in damage. So I hope Ferris really takes care of that Wyvern sooner rather than later. Percentage-based attacks are basically the bane of our existence here. Oh, I was the wrong guy to attack Ferris. Please block that. Thank you. At least we defeated in 2 hits, so... Maybe I should have gone over there and saved, but oh well. Using high potions to heal up to full, because I actually kind of forgot that there were enemies that deal 25% of max HP. Oh dear, back attack on this one is really bad. It seemed like to alternate between... Oh, don't miss that one. Okay, it does not alternate between Breathwing, so it's probably just a flat 1 in 3 chance for him to use Breathwing every single turn. And if we are lucky, we defeat him in 3 hits here. I don't really know their HP. They're kind of like mini-bosses in this particular area. Fairy's missing twice already is really not good though. Three times? What's up with that, Ferris? Alrighty, and I think we have to get the Aegis Shield here. So, right now we have technically a choice, quote-unquote, to get either an Aegis Shield or a Flame Shield. A Flame Shield has more physical block chance, and also blocks... Aegis Shield has a more physical block chance, as well as... no, the Flame Shield has more physical block chance, as well as absorbing fire damage as health instead. So, that's kind of nice overall. However, the Aegis Shield has a 1 in 3 chance to not just block physical attacks, but also a 1 in 3 chance to block any magic attack. Well, most magic attacks. There are certain exceptions that always hit. So Aegis Shield is just a really crazy good all-around shield. Also, I'm going to briefly revive my allies here. And hope I don't get a back attack in the next section, otherwise I will have to probably reset. Alrighty. Because what I want to do is I would like to turn Galuf into a Berserker here for the upcoming solo Galuf battle. Give him a Dumax. Dumax is fine. And then, this is gonna be a little bit awkward. I want to have Ferris in the back row so she deals less damage for now. And then we hope we don't get into combat with one of those Vyverns. But the idea is here, I want Galuf to be the solo Berserker for the upcoming solo Galuf fight. And welcome everybody, how are you doing? Suddenly the chat went like 3 pages and I have no idea what it just said. Welcome to you Fisk, welcome to Shiva, and welcome to anybody else who may have joined us. That reminds me, I do want to equip the Aegis Shield now. Which also gives magic power 1. Which is actually detrimental in a weird kind of way, to an extent. That chest over there contains ash, or soot I suppose. Alright, that's good. That's exactly what I wanted. Alright, very good. Basically, I was worried that Ferris might accidentally defeat the enemies too early before I can one-shot my allies here, or defeat my allies. Because one of my goals is to keep all the other characters at the lowest possible level, and, well, this is how I try to achieve that. Stop slouching! No, today is nice. And putting back Ferris back into the front row. Let's go. Manicard, thank you. Thank you so much for 20 months of support. Welcome back. And well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. Hope you have a nice day. How are you doing today? We're currently looking into a 1-hit KO run of Secret Command would be possible. What's the on that? With the random discard. 1-hit KO in Secret of Mana, not that difficult realistically if you allow characters to if you allow the damage still to be denied by enemies. If you don't allow damage to be denied, you would run into trouble with enemies that target your entire party with certain spells. So you would need to take them out before they can do anything particularly bad, such as, well, cast a spell onto your entire party. But aside from that, it's not really that difficult. Like, if you're just a bit careful and know the game, 1-hit KOs shouldn't be too bad. Randomization suggests, however, that certain bosses might be a huge problem in the early stages. Like, you can avoid the damage from Mantis Hand 100% of the time, but it even doesn't really matter since it's fine anyways. You can just... By the way, the left side is a fire-based sword. It's actually pretty strong, but it's only a knight sword, so we cannot equip it anyways. It would be decent money, but again, we don't need money. Let's see, Sigil of Mana. In Randomizer, you would need to make sure that bosses are beatable without you getting hit at all. Which actually is a bit of a problem for certain bosses if you put them into the thing early. You'll never have enough barrels. Well, at least not without glitching. Your Zerk has been muted. It's gonna be tough to get through this fight now. The silent rage continues. Also, we will want to not have the bone mail equipped in this next battle. That will probably be a really bad idea. In fact, I might want to have Ferris in the back row. I'm really not sure about that. Tablet Intolerance. Ooh. I see. Well, hope you feel better soon, Manicard. The Gala Jealous Rainbow Wind also inflicts HP, like, so that actually does happen. Yeah, it does. Probably the most these enemies can deal in damage anyways, since we have really high, ridiculously physical defense. Ready for RNG? Oh, hopefully no rain. Good luck. Now we have found them. Well, that's good. Now that we have the information, that probably helps. there a reason you're playing in the Japanese version? Yes. This is the Super Famicom version. There has never been an official translation for the, well, Super Famicom version, effectively. And I figured if I do a solo Berserker, I might as well go all the way and just do it on original hardware. So I'm playing on a regular cartridge on a Super Nintendo right now. Alright, time to do this. Fairies needs to be healed up to full because this could actually be rather dangerous. We're going to need to equip the Doom Axe because this gives us a chance to one-shot the enemies. Aside from that, oh, we still have the Balloon Hat equipped? No, that's a different one. That's a diamond hat, isn't it? Physical defense is useful, but this is, I guess, the main reason why I bought a... Wait, that's still the gold armor. Didn't I buy a diamond armor? Uh-oh. I guess I did not. I guess I did not buy a diamond armor. So the reason here for me to equip this is I do not want to... Wait, I can do this easier. Never mind, I can do this easier. Equip the Bone Mill. So Bone Mill prevents almost all physical damage from occurring. And I'm actually going to use a Reflect Ring here. I have one. I just don't know which one it is. It has 0 stats on it. So this is probably the Reflect Ring. I think that's a Reflect Ring. Somebody made a picture in Discord and linked it to me, but it's been a while. I haven't seen it in a while. Reflect Ring is the bottom one. Alright, so I did get the correct one, I think. Alright, so I'm also going to move into the back row. This should be fine. So normally you don't want the Bone Mill here equipped because there is an enemy that casts Fire 3 and Bone Mill makes you vulnerable to fire, meaning you take double damage and your magic evasion is halved. However, in this case, we have an easy trick with the Doom Axe. Alright, let's get this going. Each one of these 4 crystals is attributed to a separate element. The top one is fire, the one on the right is Aqua Rake. It's not technically water, I guess, because Aqua Rake is for some reason a neutral element. The bottom one is ground, as in earth, and the left one is wind. So all of these have 7,777 HP each. I probably should have had fires in the front row now that I think about it. Either way, each one of those have 7,777 HP each, and they are susceptible to instant death. Our Doom Axe has a 1 in 3 chance to proc Doom, but the crystals do have really high level themselves. They are 77, which means we are only 11 levels above them. I do think Boom's base success chance is 75, which means we attack with an 86% accuracy, minus whatever they have for magic evasion, and I do believe they have a bunch of magic evasion. Either way, even if we proc Doom, the chance for it to land is not exactly 100%. It's actually pretty solid compared to what you usually play this. Either way, the big danger of these crystals is that they like to go into a frenzy with their spellcasts. What I mean with this is that they initially start with just regular attacks. They basically don't deal any damage, as you can see. And the problem is that once they go below 3000 HP, they will start just casting their group area of effect spells on all your characters, which deals about 500 damage, except for the fire crystal, which deals about 600, because it's slightly stronger but also a bit slower. And because we also single target, the fire as well as the wind crystals on the left side and the top, those two will basically deal double damage. But either way, it's normally a super bad thing because you just get blasted with really strong spells and abilities. And the idea here is that I just try to have the Doom Axe do the work and just insta-kill them so we completely skip those phases. In case we get to those phases, We are protected against the fire and wind crystal's abilities, thanks to the reflect ring. However, the Aqua Rake as well as the ground crystals attacks are still going to go through because they cannot be reflected. You think your favorite way to handle these guys you've ever seen anyone do is probably RJDL. With a mini Berserker with an equip bow and equipping the death bow? Yeah, that's great. I've done that strategy too, and it's just phenomenal. Basically, all you do is you just defend and occasionally heal. The Berserker itself doesn't deal damage, so you never run the risk of putting them below 3000 HP, and eventually the mini Berserker with a bow will kill them, because the death bow as well as the Doomax just can instantly kill them. The chance to proc is probably half when you're minute, according to our research recently, but it still eventually happens. And yeah, honestly, the main dangers are the right crystal with Aqua Rake and the bottom crystal with Earthshaker. So we just hope that these two are the ones that die sooner rather than later. The other two will never actually hurt us in any capacity. Yep. Uh-oh. That bottom crystal is soon going to go below the 3000 HP threshold. We can just straight up kill it with damage as well, but I would rather just have it, die straight up, because Fairy's accuracy is 85% with the Doomax, and the chance to kill it, not that great, because we're also sitting in the back row, so it doesn't deal as much damage. You wonder how much preparation and practice is needed to do this run. For the solo Berserker, it's just a lot of patience. Alright, there's Earthshaker. Now we are on a clock, which means the thing is below 3000 HP. The Fairies has to kill it sooner rather than later. Especially since it's a lot faster than we are. Okay, Fairies just tried to proc their the Doom attack a second time, but both of them missed on the Earth Crystal so far. It should be relatively close to death. With a bit of luck, 2 more attacks should do the trick to kill the Earth Crystal. Or it just could instantly die. Alrighty, we are fine. We pretty much win from here on out. That was basically the scariest part, if either the Water Crystal or the Earth Crystal gets too many attacks off. 3. Indeed. This is also why I was thinking maybe I should have left Fairies in the front row so she would deal more damage, as in, because I'm in the back row I only deal half the damage. The idea was to push them not into their second form as early, and instead get more chances to proc Doom. But, oh well. Actually it worked out pretty well overall, I would say. Okay. And that was that. And we get Zuzu? I think that's Ash or Soot, I suppose. I believe that's a 1 in 16 rare drop by one of the crystals. By the way, again, I don't know Japanese, I just remember a lot of the game. But decided to play an original cartridge anyways, because there's at least 5 or 6 people that keep helping me out with, well, translating stuff occasionally, which is really nice, so thank you. Well, I guess I'm learning a bit. You'd wonder if mini Berserker works out for so high level. If you have something to proc... So, for anybody who does not know, I assume you know a Raving Loon, mini characters, their attack power is set to 3. And at this point, if you see any enemy that deals more, that has more than 5 defense, or 5 or more, they will just always take exactly 0 damage from those attacks. However, if you have a weapon that can proc an attack, such as, well, the Doom Axe for example, and they are susceptible to it, you can still kill them with those weapons, one way or another. So, for some reason, we have recently just tested this again. Solo Minute Berserker with a proc weapon has only seemingly like half the chance of even getting a proc with that weapon at all. It's really, really weird. We don't really understand why. I've asked in the Final Fantasy 5 career Discord whether people may have more knowledge about this, but yeah. Either way, we've done basically everything with Berserker so far, so I'm not gonna stop here. So, you can actually make this fight, or this cutscene fight, let's put it this way, go over a fair bit quicker by equipping Galuf with a bone mail and then giving him a Phoenix Stone in order to end the cutscene prematurely. So in this cutscene here, Galuf cannot die, but he has to deal, what was it? Like 1,500 damage. And because he's level 1, he doesn't deal exactly a whole lot of damage. Thankfully, the Doom Axe does have actually a pretty decent attack value and ignores a bunch of defense, so he will eventually get there. So yeah, I decided to, let's just be funny and make this a Berserker as well. And it works! Hooray! I was actually mildly concerned that he would have too much defense, but I guess that's almost impossible for an axe type weapon. What I will want to do after this, I will want to try and buy an axe from one of the places, just in case that might be the better weapon for XDeath at the end of World 2, because that's more or less our next address after this here. And yes, the Ash in this version is pretty much entirely junk. You can throw it as a ninja, but it's effectively just a weak attack. For a long time I thought that if you throw Ash you can blind enemies with it, which would have been a really neat interaction, but apparently Ash is used for a Cannoneer in particular, to throw at, or to combine with things to blind enemies, and that's it. But Cannoneer does not exist in the Super Famicom version. I guess this is actually not even a particularly bad way to handle XDeath, just use a Berserker with an axe or something like that. The main downside is having to kill off Galuf in a separate battle as a Berserker instead. Just so he doesn't accidentally help you in the crystal fights. Never realized that XDeath has a sword. Well, I guess he kind of visually attacks with it in a sense, but he's also holding it in a really, really weird way, as if he does not know that it's a sword rather than a walking stick. Then again, he's a crab, so I guess crabs don't really use swords normally. He might actually be 4,500 HP, by the way. I'm really not sure. Either way, I'm gonna refresh my water, so I'll be right back. Galuf will win eventually. I'm back. Looks like Galov hasn't quite finished off like stuff yet. Power of loud not caring about 0 HP is just a social construct. I think Galov is just too angry to die. Good thing Exet didn't meet him, because that would be super scary otherwise. Yep. I mean, I like to think that Galov took the scythe from the Grim Reaper and just uses it against Exet at this point. It takes 7,000 damage to move on? Oh, I was way mistaken. Maybe I should have given him the dancing dagger instead. Oh well, eventually I'll get there. Yeah, another additional refracting would certainly have sped up the process. That is true. So here is where we transition. Basically Galov needs to hit him like 5 more times, I think. just get to listen to the awesome music for that much longer. You're not wrong. You seem pretty dead? Yeah, this is a cutscene fight where you literally cannot lose. Basically, Galuf is too angry to die and takes out XDev all by himself, effectively. Destroys his own crystal and rescues everybody. But, well, he basically has to pay the ultimate price. Is this the long Final Fantasy V solo challenge? Pretty much. And the thing is, I only promise to get to the final boss, I do not promise to defeat him. Because, let's put it this way, I currently have a script running in the background that the solo XDev attempts, and we are on attempt number... maybe I should actually write a proper number behind here. Let's see. So this script in particular is running since a bit more than 3,000 attempts, and the closest we have gotten, I think, was just under 50,000 HP remaining of all the 3 remaining parts combined. Which is really good, but not quite where we need it to be. Sounds like a no-go. Yeah, we know it's technically possible for a solo Berserker to win, but practically the chances seem to be pretty much 0 to get the exact correct RNG unless we can find some way to manipulate it. And that's kind of what I'm working on. But this will be probably just a more side project of mine once we get to the final boss. Which, by the way, is going to be still a bit of a journey. Especially this next area here can take anywhere from, like, I would say 20 minutes to travel through up to multiple hours because of the enemies along the way that are going to be a nightmare and a half to try and defeat. So, instead of Galuf, we now have Kara in our party. Kara has 1 more agility than Ferris, but also 1 more magic power, which actually means, in order for her to do the same strategy that I'm currently employing against the final boss with my script, she would not be able to equip an Aegis shield. Otherwise, she would not be able to underflow the magic power stat since, well, she has too much magic power. Kind of silly how 1 more magic power makes an entire cact. It's just not really useful for the final boss. As a solo berserker in particular, by the way. Nothing else really. Alright, so we are here now. Where do I want to go? I think just northeast actually. So I want to go and buy an axe, because the axe might be a better weapon than the other things that I can use for defeating the boss at the end of World 2 here. Because the boss at the end of World 2 has a substantial amount of physical defense, and as much as I dislike using an X with its 20% chance to miss in this case, it actually might still be on average the stronger weapon than the air knife that we have. Or alternatively, I might use a dancing dagger. There's basically 3 weapons that have the potential for being the most useful ones among all of them. Right, going to restock on high potions here. And here, let's see. I believe this is the axe I'm looking for. And that's kind of all there is to it. So that's a poison axe if I'm not mistaken. Actually, does it cause poison? I don't even know what the poison axe does. Or venom axe it's called, excuse me. Let me see real quick. Yeah, venom axe can inflict poison with a 67% chance apparently. That's actually the highest proc chance of any weapon. I had no idea that a venom axe had such a high chance of poisoning. The main downside is, of course, that poisoning an enemy not terribly useful unless you can outlast them. And they need to be susceptible to poison in the first place. One of the parts of Neo XF is susceptible to poison, but only one. The others are not. Hello Zoltano, welcome. How are you doing? I just had a really silly idea on how to potentially defeat Neo XF. Hang on. Let me just get started and walking in here. Also save. Put Ferris back into the front row, equip Ferris with a wind dagger, bone mail, and actually I want to keep the reflect ring equipped, I think. Hello Zoltano, welcome! How are you doing? And welcome to you as well, Klutch. Hope you're having a nice day so far. So what if we defeat the first form of XDEF so slowly that it runs out of MP trying to cast White Hole over and over again? Then it would not be able to use Meteor, and if our character is Minute, we would effectively not take any physical damage either. So we would get past phase 1, and in phase 2, if we get lucky that the boss will cast Delta Attack and reflect it to his body, the Almagus part, we are actually pretty much fine from that as well. And then it's just hoping that we don't get killed by Grand Cross until the magic part kills off the Grand Cross and everything else. The main problem would be that in the end the magic part would start casting Meteor and Almagus and stuff as well. Which is why maybe with a Poison Axe we could kill that last part if it's the last one remaining. Until your next lions show up. Well, I hope I'm not too distractive then. Welcome to you. I hope we have a nice day at work, Sultana. $80 I very soon, yeah. So, alrighty, let me actually introduce you to the problem of this dungeon real quick. The problem of this dungeon is it's pretty lengthy until we get to a save point. And while we can pretty much defeat most of the enemies along the way, not necessarily without any trouble, but we can defeat them along the way, there is a particular room that we have to traverse that is filled with dragons. And one set of dragons in particular will deal 25% of our maximum health and damage, which is why the diamond helmet is really useful here, because it reduces the damage they deal by half. At least I think it does. It might actually still stay the same, but we'll see. Either way, the battles are going to be relatively lengthy, and we probably will have to heal a bunch. So fun fact, these magic dragons in the front here, they are actually weak to wind, and our wind dagger will probably absolutely destroy those guys. They also, in their second turn, have a chance to use Arrow 3, which gets reflected by a reflect ring. This is one of the reasons why I have a reflect ring equipped in the first place. Yes, we did restock potions, people coming in. So these wall mages actually do a clever little trick introducing the player to a concept they may not have thought about themselves. So they cast the spells onto themselves and then bounce them back over to our party. Which means it actually goes straight through reflect, because any given spell can only be reflected once. So that is a pretty clever way of teaching the player that, hey, if you want to avoid an enemy's wall, just cast spells on your own wall and bounce it over like that. It worked pretty well. Also, by the way, these magic dragons have about 3000 HP, just a little under that. And killing them with just one hit is actually pretty neat. We just picked up an ice shield in that chest there, which has a 40% physical block chance, which is 7% better than our Aegis shield. But because of the wall mages, I still want the Aegis shield to block the magic attacks instead. We have a lot of physical defense, so we should be mostly fine. And a lot of the spells the enemies cast outside of the reflect mages, or wall mages, well, get ignored. This chest here contains an ether. I don't really care about it. And I've actually arrived here a bit quicker than anticipated. Very few encounters, so that's nice. This room here, we could technically take a shortcut through the lava, but each step of the lava is like a poison tick and deals 1/16 of our maximum health and damage. And these black warlocks there on the left side are the reason why we have a reflect ring equipped. We are actually completely immune against any spell that they can cast, but they will help us defeat enemies as we go, effectively. Because the 3 spells they cast are Doom, Confuse, and I think Petrification. And I do believe they are susceptible to all 3 of those themselves. So they can confuse themselves and then start wrecking their own party, which is, well, Reflect Ring just protects you from literally everything they can do. We are immune to all of these things anyways, thanks to the Berserker being immune to confusion by default. By the way, that chest over there contains an elixir, don't really care, we have enough of them. And I want to make this as short of a trip as possible. And hey XF, welcome, thank you for the good luck, I will need it. I hope you have a nice day so far. So, by the way, the irony of reflecting Confuse is, if we confuse a Reflect Mage, that's actually potentially really bad for us. Because those Reflect Mages... Oh, that's the slow spell cast, I see. The Reflect Mages normally only cast level 1 and level 2 spells. So level 2 hurts a bit, especially if it's like Fire 2, since we have the Bone Mail equipped. But if the Reflect Mages get confused, then they start casting level 3 spells, and because they have a wall, and they target always their own party with it, they potentially bounce back a level 3 Fire 3 back at us. Or something else nasty like that. Thankfully that didn't happen, but it's a thing that potentially could happen. Alright, and here we start getting into the rooms where the dragons appear. Chests on the left and right contain Knight Sword and the Samurai Sword. I can't really equip them. I was wrong, I forgot about this save point. Never mind, this is not nearly as bad as I thought it's going to be. The chest on the right I think contains an elixir, the chest on the left here contains money. It's a lot of money actually. I don't really need it though. So this is the best encounter we can get in this room. Because if we get any other encounter, we kind of have a problem with yellow dragons. Especially the rare encounter would be a huge problem for us. The yellow dragons, what they do is they cast an ability that is called, well, the fan translation calls it Thunder, and it deals 25% of our maximum health and damage to our entire party, but well, we have only one character. Because it targets the maximum HP, it is naturally really unpleasant for us. Because 4 of those spell cast and we are just dead. Which is also actually why I heal up to full, because I might survive. Actually no, I think our HP number is divisible by 4, so we're not having any leftover HP. Okay, one step before. And there's a yellow dragon. As long as he just attacks physically like the ear just now, we are okay-ish. I think they have like 7,500 HP, so 3 attacks should do the trick. Welcome to you, Rachidactylus. I'm doing quite fine. I hope you're doing well too. Okay, so it actually does work. So the helmet reduces lightning damage we receive by half, meaning we only take 1/8 of our maximum health and damage. Whew. Alright. Diamond helmet to the rescue. I was really worried about these, but once again, a rare encounter can be 2 yellow dragons, so they are still going to be a huge danger to us. And well, as you may have just spotted, by the way, that is a Esper over there. That's an optional boss fight, effectively. There's no reason for us to fight it, pretty much. But, here we go. Each step is 1/16 of our maximum health and damage. I was wrong, this is not 1/16. Why is this not 1/16? This is only like 150 damage or so. I thought this would be significantly more damage. This is only 100 damage, isn't it? Actually less than 100, it's 50 damage. I always thought this was kind of like a poison tick. I was completely wrong, we could have taken a shortcut earlier through the lava fields. Alright, this makes this significantly nicer because... oh dear. This is the encounter I didn't want to see. This is a blue dragon. Actually, let me correct this. These are 3 blue dragons. And the problem is, each one of them can use an ability that is called Snowstorm. That one. And it deals a ton of damage. Actually, I guess the Snowstorm damage is not even that bad, I suppose. Because we have so much maximum HP. But because there's 3, and we can target a random one, fairies might take a while to defeat just one of them. So that's Blaze, which is also inflicting HP leak. So that's basically 100 more damage than what he just displayed. So what I should have actually equipped, I should have equipped the Ice Shield for this room, in hindsight. But there's also possibly 2 yellow dragons, which is why I wanted to keep the Aegis Shield, but I guess the Aegis Shield actually doesn't help against Thunder. That's an ability that always hits and cannot be blocked by the Aegis Shield. Alright, one of them down. kind of silly that it's actually desirable for them to cast Snowstorm. Snowstorm hits your entire party, and at this point of the game, that's a load of damage for your entire party, like, especially since those can do that like 3 times per turn, because it's 3 blue dragons. They are really, really dangerous. It looks like our solo Berserker might have enough HP to basically survive it though, so that's kind of decent. Good morning to you, Ultra Cloud. I hope you have a nice day so far. The sunglasses on that are weird, Sultana. Alright, we are fine here. Okay. By the way, they are 7,500 experience, so if you can defeat them efficiently and quickly, they are worth a lot. I have no idea how to defeat them efficiently and quickly though. I'm going to briefly equip the ice shield here. By the way, the first character is an A, so it's a I, probably Sue afterwards. Ice shield. The chest on the right contains a double lance, the other chest contains a bunch of money. I don't care about either, we just go. Oof. We take double damage from fire too. That one looks angry. Build your own face. If I ever have some leftover funds for the stream to spare, I might commission Baron Haynes to do some more like face party modes. Especially now that we can like flip them around, they might be a lot more interesting than before, because we only need half of the emotes in a certain sense. Okay, we managed to actually make it to the final save point here. I am really, really surprised that this went as swimmingly as it did. That's the wrong shield. I need the Jaeger shield. Alright, if you activate this chest here, which is empty, you actually are going to get into a fight with Gilgamesh. So, quick question everybody. Do we dance or do we just use the air knife? Because the air knife is more consistent. You can dance if you want to. You can dance if you want to. You can... you can... okay. Everybody does the same thing. Alright, we dance. So, this guy here is actually usually more annoying than dangerous, but he can be quite dangerous because he can turn us into a frog, and we don't really have any way against that unless we get lucky enough to block it. So this is Gilgamesh. He has about 15,000 HP here, and he effectively uses a tremendous amount of nasty status effects. So ending this fight as quick as possible is really key. Among the status effects are sleep, aging status, halving your level. Wow, we already made it to phase 2. That was insanely fast. Dancing was the way. Among others, he can also halve your level, which means he effectively halves all the damage. He can frog us, which, if this happened earlier, we would have just straight up lost, because, well, that's not entirely true. If he uses the frog song again, he can unfrog us, but yeah. Thankfully, he's already in his cutscene mode where he just talks a bunch and just still attacks a bunch, so we're fine. So yeah, the dancing dagger actually pretty much saved us there. The air knife would have completed the fight in probably 5 hits. But we needed less than that, which, well, we were lucky. It worked out. Safety dance. So even the sword dance. By the way, Frog is kind of like Mini, except it's worse. You basically also cannot cast spell casts by you're a Frog. Your attack also gets set to 3, kind of like Mini status, and you do not gain the benefit of doubling your evasion. So Mini actually has a bunch of benefits, whereas Frog is just a strictly detrimental status effect to you. I've actually never watched the safety dance. I only just heard the memes about it, and that's it. Alrighty. We also gain a sword that we cannot equip, which is not even a good one. But it's a unique one, to say the least. So we need a Maiden's Kiss now. Where's the Maiden's Kiss? Probably starts with a Ma. I might have put it all the way at the bottom of the menu. So I rearrange my menus frequently just to test some things. And at the very bottom I put some things. Okay, that's our only weapons, so never mind. Oh, thank you with that said, however. That one? No, that's not that one. I scrolled past it, didn't I? That one. Ah, there it is, thank you. Down, Yaga! They spell out Otome, no kanji items here. I see. Alright. Back to the air lancet for more consistent walking through the room, going back to save. No dear, this fight is funny. Whenever you defeat one of these rabbits, they actually cast life 2 on a random party member. They don't care whether that party member has been dead or not, but potentially this fight can drag on for quite a while, because they can't just keep reviving each other. We just hope that doesn't happen. Otome. Otome. Why am I fighting Flareons? Well, mainly because they attacked me. Otome? Otome. Otome. Yes, there's a bunch of ideas in my brain. They're hail race in English version, but it's Araige. Yeah. The fan translation calls them a rage, like rage but with an A in front of it. It's kind of weird. Gonna go and buy a rabbit and name it that. Yep. Honestly, the rabbit I had as a kid probably would have earned that nickname. She was really aggressive at the time. Ah, lazy. I had a pet rabbit? Yeah. I had a guinea pig originally. But that one unfortunately had a bit of a premature death, so my parents decided that they are going to, well, give effectively my sister's rabbit at the time a bit of company, and I got a rabbit too. It was an interesting one. Kind of mean, I dare to say, but also kind of nice regardless. Oh well. Alrighty, so we have 3 options on how to take on X-Death. One is we try to air knife, which is the most consistent damage output we have. Two, we try and see whether we can defeat him quicker with a dancing dagger if we get lucky. 3, we can try the Venom Axe I just bought earlier, because he does have a substantial amount of physical defense. The Venom Axe might actually deal the most damage, but he does have a 20% chance to miss, and I think he has a baseline evasion? I'm not sure about that. Let me see what it is. X-Def Castle. So X-Def in X-Def Castle has 10% evasion. So we effectively have, instead of an 80% chance to hit, we have a 72% chance to hit. Onis are rather fragile pets. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of would like to have a cat again. But at the same time, I don't feel like I could give it as much attention as it needs. We got pretty lucky with them reviving each other in this case here. By the way, there's a room to the right which has a bunch more chests, including one of the ridiculously strong weapons for a ninja. Alright. So I'm actually curious how the Air Lancer does, but do we want to dance as a first attempt here? Yes, no, maybe. So, for reference by the way, the upcoming boss fight is one of the biggest hurdles for a lot of solo character challenge runs. It's not gonna be easy for the Berserker either, despite being so ridiculously, insanely over-leveled. Also, I need to equip the Ice Shield. You vote for Dancing Daggers. Alright, let's go Dancing Dagger then. Alright, despite being so ridiculously over-leveled, this might still be a huge hurdle to take. One of the big reasons for this is this guy has a 2 in 3 chance to effectively outright kill us at the very beginning of the battle. So, he likes to cast Doom 2 out of 3 times in his first turn. Doom is an attack that never misses and puts a clock over your head. That clock eventually takes down to 0 and you're dead. Even the bone meal does not prevent it. So, 2 out of 3 times we just straight up die to this. So, the funny thing is, as a Berserker, if we were to get 4 sword dances in a row, we would actually still win. But hey, he also puts us into the back row here. We have a decent chance of resisting it because of our high level. But yeah. I'd actually like to see the damage number here, Ferris, if you don't mind. Just attack, please. 3 mystery balls so far. Either way, he has a variety of rather rough status effects and attacks and such. 1000 damage from the back row. Not too bad. Ho ho on the Hurricane. That actually might be a reason to keep the Aegis Shield equipped, I guess. Alright, death number 1. Yeah, he is not a friendly customer to try and deal with. I'm actually going to keep the Aegis Shield equipped just to have a higher chance of resisting the Hurricane. How hard is X-Def Casually? He is actually... basically, they kind of fake you out in a sense, and it's as if this is the final boss, and he is strong. Like, really strong according to him basically being a final boss. Like, he is absolutely no joke. He has 32,765 HP, something along these lines. Either way, he has a ton of HP. Once he drops below 16,000 HP, he actually switches AI scripts and gets a double turn each time, which ironically is a lot safer for solo characters because he no longer uses spells or attacks that can effectively instantly kill you. They only deal damage, and a lot of those damage spells are level 3 spells that, because we have a reflect ring, we can just straight up reflect. And then the big danger is just him reflecting just using a lot of physical attacks that deal a ton of damage. And since we can't heal, the second phase is actually really dangerous still. But, well, let's see. 22 months? 22 months! Chaco Panther, thank you so much for 22 months of support. Welcome back. I'm glad you enjoy your stay. I really appreciate that. Alrighty. Okay, we actually survived the first turn. 1836. Also, he counterattacks with this spell. So this is a vacuum wave, which also inflicts HP leak status and deals a ton of physical damage. Reminder, we have a really high physical defense. Okay, we need a sword dance or two in order to push him over the line to phase 2. This is his third turn. Next he can use Earthshaker for a regular attack. Next is a Flame, fight or specialty. Flame will be the worst if he uses it, because we take double damage from fire. Hurricane fight is next. So we're not dead yet, but we're kinda close. If he can use Zombie Breath next, which actually heals us thanks to the Bone Mill. But he actually physically attacked instead. Next he can use Fight, Bio or Fight, which we need to block if he uses anything that isn't Bio. But Bio's just Reflex doesn't deal damage with him, but he still gets the HP leak status. Next is hopefully a level 3 Flare, but instead he decided to hit us instead. So basically, we just hope that we resist the Hurricane move, which has reasonably high baseline accuracy, but we actually are kind of well versed against it thanks to the Aegis Shield. At least we have a good chance, put it that way. Also, I will want to probably rearrange my items in my inventory because I really would like to get no encounter walking up to X-Death. But that might be wishful thinking. Either way, so we've seen it's about 2000 damage with a regular attack from the Dancing Dagger. I'm curious how much damage the Venom Axe will deal. Again, X-Death does have a pretty substantial amount of physical defense, and maybe the Venom Axe might actually be able to assist us here for once. We need to get lucky anyways, so maybe, just maybe, that might be the way to go here. We'll see. And they just keep reviving each other. Well, let's see how this is going to go if we manage to walk up to X-Death. Not yet. Okay. I don't think there's any more encounters in here, but there might be. Either way, gonna set up for the final fight here. So let's use the Venomax. Oof. As you can see, the Venomax has a lot less attack power than the latest dagger. It's so strange. So bizarre. I might want to not use the Bone Mail because of the flame attack. But I don't know. Actually, maybe a Flame Ring might be the better choice here. I wonder whether a Flame Ring could be a better choice. Because Flame Ring doesn't just prevent fire damage, it also nullifies ice, which is quite relevant in the second phase, and we only take half damage from lightning. Yeah, actually let's try the... Flame Ring. I think that's the Flame Ring. Pretty sure that's the Flame Ring. I'm not certain that's the Flame Ring. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. Right. Okay, that's the last step there, right there. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, we survived the first round again. That's good for us. 3,570. That's a really good number. Okay. Next he can do gravity, damage or fight. Just a regular attack. Next is an attack, or his vacuum wave. I like that axe, honestly. Might just be variance here, but it seems good. Earthshaker is next, or just a regular attack. Earthshaker this. Next he has Flame, Fight and Specialty. In this case we actually hope for Flame. No, I didn't do it. Next is Hurricane, which we hope to block this time. He could also physically attack instead. Okay, we blocked it, nice. Next is Zombie Breath, twice, or Specialty, which is a vacuum wave. So hopefully Zombie Breath, because that should heal us. Maybe, again. Next is 2 attacks, or Bio. He decided Bio, and Ferris blocked it, which is actually not a good thing, because that would heal us. Next is level 3 Flare, or attack. We are immune to level 3 Flare, but he chose an attack anyways. Now we need to get lucky to either push him over the into the second phase, or he just needs to do the 1 in 3 not condemn again, because we went through an entire cycle of AI phase here. So unfortunately we did not push him into the second phase in time. Which we actually just did now. Now because he is taking double turns, you can see that he's doing those things. So yeah, we unfortunately are probably going to die here. So maybe the Dancing Dagger would be the better choice here, because it should give us a decent chance to push him over the line. Although the axe is nice and consistent with its decently high damage output, I suppose. It definitely seems to be a better chance or choice overall. Hard to tell. Alrighty, that was a good attempt though. We managed to get into phase 2, which for most solo character means they just straight up win, because you just sit in the back row, waiting until he kills himself with level 3 spells while healing up the entire time. Welcome to you, the good professor. I hope you have a nice day so far. Okay, we managed to get into the second room without an encounter, so that's pretty good. So here's the thing, the flame attack in the first phase is actually only a 1 in 3 chance to occur. So us taking like 4,500 damage there, only 1 in 3 chance. We might want to gamble and still use the Reflect Ring instead for the second phase. But then again, the bigger problem is the physical attacks anyways. I don't know. Good start into the fight. No luck at the end. Yeah, I suppose you couldn't call it that. Alright. So, I'm gonna go with the dancing dagger this time. We'll see if we get a good dancing dagger start. Use the salamander ring again though. I don't think this is called salamander ring, is it? I'm just thinking of Tales of Fantasia, where that's the fan translation, I think. Alright, let's see. 1 in 3 chance to survive here again. The Berserker gets actually 4 attacks in. Technically 4 sword dances could kill him despite the team, but just really unlikely. Oh, alright. Let's see whether we get sword dances. Nope. You're a sucker for Reflect Ring in this fight, but you also don't solo Berserker it. Yeah, Reflect Ring in that fight is amazing, honestly. The only difficulty is trying to heal your characters with a Reflect Ring on, if you have like a white mage and rely on it. But high potions, or a thief dishing at high potions works just fine usually. Let's see how this is going to go. Going to go with the same loadout again. Dancing dagger, salamander ring, bone mail, heal up to full, and hope for the best. Alright, good start. Get a sword dance, please. No sword dance, 1,836. Oh, getting put into the back row is really bad for us too. Gravity 100 would remove the float status if we had it, which we don't, so it doesn't really matter. Sword dance here, 4,932. Wouldn't deal quite 9,999 damage to him, but would be a decent chance here. Alright. Flame, we get healed. Oh, that's kind of nice. Alright, I hope for a zombie breath next. Your mystery waltzes really do not help, Ferris. I think we haven't seen a single zombie breath so far. This is actually kind of silly. But hey, it's all within the range of variance, I suppose. Also on the side, I've tried to set up a new save state with a minute character. On the verge of entering battle. Eventually we get through, I suppose. Maybe I should try the ice shield again. Either way, the chance of the Solar Berserker to succeed is significantly higher than the Geomancer on this fight. Just want to point that out. The Geomancer... Oh boy, that took a while. Heal up to full. Dancing dagger. No, Aegis Shield is just better, really. I'm gonna keep the Reflect Ring this time, just to see. Well, that's not a good start. Got to rearrange items in my menu, kind of like I did before. Just to hopefully make a difference on how or what kind of whether we get encounters or not. Preferably we don't get any encounters on the way to XDev. Also, I forgot to increase the death count. Also, sorry, I'm mildly distracted. I'm trying to put up a thing on the side here. Okay. $80 hype, indeed. I hope we defeat XDev before too long. Can the Antline be poisoned? Alright. Let's see. Dancing Dagger again. Let's see what we get. Still haven't gotten a Dancing Dagger Reflect Ring attempt in yet. And back row again. Well, at least we have a chance here, I suppose. Bears needs to do really well though, on the back row especially. Wait. Zombie breath actually still hurt us? I'm really confused. Level 3 flare actually is nice because it reflects to him and deals about 1000 damage. So, after level 3 flare is once again him having a chance to cast Doom 2 out of 3 times. Unfortunately this means we're just straight up dead here. Unless we get like a bunch of sword dances right here. Yeah, that's not gonna happen anymore. Honestly, the axe so far had the best result. We just needed to get lucky twice. But then again, we also haven't had a really good sword dance so far. So that's a thing. So it might not be entirely fair towards the dancing dagger, because we haven't really had a good attempt per se. Did I just activate? I think I increased the deck counter twice. Let's see what kind of randomness we get here as soon as we load the thing. Alright, now I count the first room, so that's nice. Ah, so close. It's a pretty quick encounter though, so that's alright. Oh. Oh no! Oh dear. I just realized I made a mistake in my script. Oh dear, alrighty. So, for anybody who does not know, I currently have a script running in the background on an emulator with Final Fantasy V, trying to figure out the best results for defeating X-Death with a solo Berserker. And yes, I kinda get to start over, in a sense. So, give me a second, let's get this started here real quick. Dancing Dagger... Reflect Ring, Aegis Shield, alright. The short version is, what I tried to do is, I tried to like run a few attempts with the Genji Shield rather than the Aegis Shield, just to see how well or well not so well that's going to do against the final boss fight. And I thought this entire time, the 5000 attempts I did until now were the Genji Shield. They were not the Genji Shield. The first one was the Genji Shield, but then all subsequent ones... Ooh, nice dancing dagger. The first one was the Genji Shield, but then all subsequent ones were not. Because for some reason I load the save state in 2 different ways, and I only adjusted one of the names of the save state file that I load for the testing. So basically my script is very quick and dirty, and that kind of comes back to bite me, of course. Of course it would. So, yeah. Gonna make a quick adjustment to that. Ferris is still fighting. I'll be very impressed if you manage to survive this, my friend. Yeah. There's no chance anymore. I mean, visually there was basically no indicator for me personally whether it was still using the Genji shield or the Aegis shield. Because I disabled the visuals, so the emulator would run its attempts faster. So, yeah. Alright. I need to adjust that script anyways. Hey, no encounters. Nice. Give this another try here. Kind of hope for an encounter so I have more time to change up my script on the side. Nice. Not a chance. So he has been actually really nice with the 1 in 3 chance for us to not get doomed right away. So this is actually really good luck so far. Also, we already got a sword dance. Could he get a second one, Ferris? That would be amazing right here. No sword dance yet, but like 3 more attacks, regular attacks anyways, in order to push him into phase 2. So 2 more. Actually not looking too bad here. Shake here. Unfortunately, this does not exactly help us much. And Hurricane. I really hoped we would get through there before Hurricane hits, but eh. No such luck. And Zombie Breath just... It didn't even just kill Ferris, it turned her into a zombie. Adding insult to injury. That's an interesting concept there. Interesting. Hey Steph, welcome. How are you doing? So, I'll need to heal. It's going for the Dancing Dagger and... Let's equip the Flame Ring. And I'm gonna stop the scripts here. Nope. Not enough time to finish this. One additional death. Ferris, could you have a bit of a longer battle somewhere, please? I kind of would like to adjust my scripts here. Give me a second. Sorry, trying to adjust the things on the side here. Another one of these, let's go. Time for Final Fantasy yet again to have a 4-man party with a job system. Oh, for the next iteration? I would like for them to go back to their roots, kind of like they kinda did with Final Fantasy 9. That would be my preferred choice. Hey, nice. We have another good start here. Or at least a start. 1908. If you want to keep track, by the way, it's 16,800 and some change damage in order to push him into phase 2. And his 10th attack is when he resets. Ooh. Really good start, Varys. Nice. Ow. The sword dance would push him into phase 2. Not quite here. Berserker next is unfortunately the flame possibility. Actually, a flame is fine. I would like to see flame. Nice, thank you. Please do not use hurricane now. Tempting thing. So XDF apparently is not tempted. Nice. Good job blocking that. Alright. 2 more attacks from Ferris would push him into phase 2. Alternatively... Ooh! Nice. Alright, he's in phase 2. We have really good HP here. One more sword dance is not quite going to do it. But it would push him really close to his demise. One more regular attack and the sword dance I think would do the trick. That's not a sword dance. So once again, we are immune to ice, we absorb fire for healing and lightning damage is halved. And we also have decent physical block chance, so we can survive for a while. But because he gets double attacks and his physical attacks are rather substantial, we're not gonna survive forever. Although ironically, Ferris is healing up more than he deals damage right now. Oh, and he heals us sometimes too. I was just wondering why he didn't heal us to full just there. But it's because basically his double attacks count as one attack, and all healing is then afterwards subtracted. Okay, we win. Nice. Good job, Ferris. Alrighty, 161 deaths total. This makes it... exactly 11 tries, or 10 deaths I suppose, in order to defeat XDEF. Very nice, good job, Ferris. So, unfortunately Ferris is not going to be around for the next, let's say, mini-boss fight. Okay, so that means we unequip you entirely. And we are in World 3, we're almost to our grind spot here. Almost. Music is so good. Yeah, I agree. I really like the music in this game. Like, it's a lot simpler than Final Fantasy VI, in a sense, but it is really well done. Okay. I hope you feel better soon. Enjoy your nap. Rest well, Kisura. Let's see. Start energy. Also, I love that the music gets like muffled when you go outside here because it's not playing outside here, it's playing inside, so of course it's a little bit more quiet. Sorry, I'm still correcting my things here real quick. Oh, not the state, the text file. Okay. Let's see. Tools, lower console. Open up Genji Shield. Alright, this seems to be working. Yeah, it's a nice attention to detail, I agree. Hey Norigrim, welcome. How are you doing? Pyramid student. Yes, indeed. I still haven't quite decided whether I will want to just display that on stream or whether I'm just gonna let it run overnight in order to get the final grind done. I'm certainly going to show it off, how it's going to work and such, but then I'm not sure what else I'm going to do. Actually, today I have another Zelda Link to the Past randomizer tournament match, so I will have to use my Super Nintendo console anyway, separately. We'll see. Apparently I made a spelling error somewhere. Give me a second. I just realized another little mistake I did for my script. Kind of minor thing. Whatever. I'll correct that later. It'll be fine. Okay. Alright, so here, now we have only Butts and Kara in our party. Or Kryle, as it's called in the Game Advance version. I prefer Kara because it's easier to pronounce, that's literally my reasoning. And here, we will have to defeat a boss. I call it a mini-boss, because compared to XDeath, he is not much more than a little road bump named Antlion. So the thing is, Antlion is unfortunately quite a real boss for us in our case, because we do not have what's the words? We do not have particularly high level characters, as you might be able to tell. And in order to get past Antline whenever we have this main character for Ferris, I decide to just take whatever is necessary or use whatever means in order to get past Antline and be done with it. Because, again, usually Antline by itself is not really particularly dangerous. The worst that can happen, generally speaking, is that it just maybe kills you once, or you decide to reset because it reduces your level by so much it would just take it, or make the fight go on forever. But it's rarely inherently dangerous per se. It can be, but very, very uncommon. So this is kind of what my reasoning is for doing whatever it needs or it takes in order to get past solo Antline. And here I would like to point out that Samurai Goro apparently defeated Antline in his original attempt with a level 1 solo but Berserker. Which is insane! Why would he ever even try that? Either way, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn Butts into a dancer. I give him the air lancet and elf cape for better dodge purposes. No bone mail, please. Armor doesn't really matter. Actually, you can have the strength armor here, that's fine. And what's that? Oh, that's a green beret. I guess I never got rid of it. Alright, and then Kara is going to turn into a Mystic Knight. So, this is my combination of how to get past this guy without too much trouble. I'm also going to equip the Guardian Dagger, if I find it. There it is. The Ice Shield for highest physical block chance possible. And I guess I don't have anything else here. Doesn't matter, you can have this. Actually, no, you should unequip it because that's equipment weight added for no reason. Unless it gives you speed or something like that. This is magic power. This gives you a little bit of speed. Alright, doesn't really matter. Either way. So, again, this is basically my reasoning as to I do whatever it takes in order to get past Antline, hopefully without too much trouble. And the way we do this is, in World 1 I bought Sleep as a spell. In fact, I bought a bunch of spells because I didn't know which ones is Sleep. Sleep, the Antline is susceptible to sleep. So, in this game here, if you put something to sleep, it will sleep literally forever until you hit it with a physical attack that specifically can wake up characters. And the convenient thing is, Dance is not one of these attacks. And it's also one of the few attacks that does not cost any MP in particular to, well, get done. So, alright, here. I need to use Sleep Blade. I don't know, which one is Sleep Blade? Probably the one that costs 2 MP. This is like... Which one is Sleep Blade? Does anybody know? The right one? Alright. So we have just barely enough MP to cast Sleep Blade. And the advantage of Sleep in this game here, or for a Mystic Knight, is that you do not have to worry about being able to hit Sleep in the first place. Literally, as a Mystic Knight status effects, as long as you hit the enemy and they're susceptible to it, it will land, which means this enemy is now asleep. And we can just dance until he is down. As you can tell, he has 8100 HP, I think. Our damage output is kind of not so great, but eventually we'll get him down. And this is an excellent opportunity for me to test out my method of trying to hold down a button without having to do anything else. So I have some tape here. I'm gonna tape over the A button and see whether that is sufficient in order to hold it down. Obviously for now I would have to remove it, but just kind of a... Hey, it works. A test of concept, because I will have to hold down the A button and I will have to hold down the up button in order to do the forever grind on the Berserker in actually not too long anymore. In fact, after this guy there's no more bosses until our Berserker gets the opportunity to level up to 99. Yep, tape strats. Tape strats indeed. So the sword dance is of course what you want to see. Those are the sword dances you see there. Oh, I guess the tape came a bit loose. It stopped holding the button down. Might have to like put a weight on it or something like that, I'm not sure. The 1 in 4 still haunts you. Yeah, for us in this case it's actually 1 in 4. If you use a dancing dagger, it's a 1 in 8 for getting a sword dance. But hey, honestly, Dancer is one of the more weird characters to have in your team when you, let's say, do a Forge of Fiesta of this game. But it's not bad once you finally manage to get like one of the equipment. The thing is that increase the chance of the sword dance occurring, which in fact, if you have a thief in your party, you can get a Lamia's Tiara in World 1 in the Ronka Ruins as a rare steal from the Lamias, and that will remove Tempting Tango and add another sword dance. So you have 2 out of the 4 chance to sword dance, 1 in 4 chance to Children back to it, and 1 in 4 chance to Mystery Waltz instead. And honestly, a dancer with a 2 in 4 chance sword dance is actually really good as a damage dealer, like surprisingly consistent. There's other equipment that also increases the chance for sword dances, and those equipment pieces are the Rainbow Dress, which you cannot get until World 3, where you can steal it in Phoenix Tower. The Red Shoes, which I think you can steal them somewhere, but there's a chest in the Void in the castle part that gives you Red Shoes if you defeat the optional mini-bosses of the weird old band thingies. I don't know what they're called. And the last one... Actually, no, there's no other one. There's just those 3. That's not true. The Mandrake Dagger, no, Man-Eater Dagger, actually also increases the chance for sword dances. Of course, it just kind of locks you in which weapon you have to use, but hey, more chances for sword dance. Statistical double damage indeed. As I said, it's surprisingly consistent. The tape method doesn't quite hold up, it looks like. It doesn't help that Butts has to dance, sword dance like 25 times. To be fair, Mystery Waltz, no, Jitterbug Do It also deals pretty solid damage here. So, not all terrible, I guess. You have fear of ants ever since childhood? Oh, that's no fun. Alright, tape method needs work. It actually just kind of comes off after a while here. Plus, I probably don't want to use this controller for it, because that's kind of my main controller currently. Oh, there we go, and line down. We get 5 ability points for Butts Dancer. So, not much we can do about that. Ooh. Lurch is not fine. Ants work really hard, that scares you too. I know other people that work really hard. They are kinda scary, I agree. What kind of shenanigans is it? Why didn't the ant line act anyway? How do we take it on? I put it to sleep. I used the sleep blade of a Mystic Knight in order to guarantee it falling asleep if we ever hit it with a physical attack. And then it did not wake up because for some reason, even though dance clearly has a physical portion with a sword dance, dance never wakes up an enemy that is asleep. And in Final Fantasy 5, if you're asleep, you do not wake up by yourself, you have to get hit by a physical attack or remedied or healed or something like that. Also, I would like to point out that I just watching the solo Berserker minute on the side here, and the chance for Quake seems to actually be not too bad right now. I had just 2 in a row. So maybe our assumption is wrong and we just had every single time I tested this a really bad luck. Which is entirely possible. I'm curious what happens if we get into phase 2. Alright, and now we have Berserker back. We need to briefly revive Kara. That's not a Phoenix Stone. That's not a Phoenix Stone. I know I have like 99 of those. There it is. Revive Kara, turn her back into a freelancer, and equip everything, just give you the Mithril Blade like we usually do. This does a guarantee to one-shot yourself, turn Butts into a freelancer again, unequip. Mithril Blade. Give Ferris all the equipment she wants and needs. Air Lancet, Ice Shield. No, let's go with Jaeger Shield. More consistent. Everything defense, I suppose. Diamond Helmet, Bone Mail. And let's go for... Elf Cape. Okay. Dance has a physical attack, but I don't think the dance ability is flagged as a physical attack. You know, like how Blessing of Kings will Berserk... Kiss of Blessing, I mean. Will Berserk Omega despite Omega being Berserk immune? Yes, pretty much. Basically, certain things hit because they don't check for the correct triggers. It's kind of like... It's kind of like Pokemon before they made the physical and special split, where all the moves of a certain type were just all physical or all special. So a Fire Punch would never deal particularly much damage. If... let's say... Hitmonchan would use it. Hey Israel, welcome! Run is going quite fine. We actually are making decent progress. Turtle! And Crab. How are you doing, Zorai? How's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope all is well. Pokemon's programming is weird. It makes a lot of sense to me. They took a bunch of shortcuts, as you might be able to tell, which is only natural in my book. But calling it weird is definitely a lot wrong. But it's also a lot of learning and growing with this thing. see. Good luck with that, right? I think you're fine. Oh. Super Turtle. I love this cutscene. Yume Tsubasa. Much. Thank you for the host, I appreciate that. Hello everybody, I hope you have a pleasant day so far. As someone who only got halfway through the game, this turtle seal is something else. Yup, it's pretty special. I really like it actually, it's pretty neat. Basically, Guido is a sage and a turtle. But mainly a turtle. Yet it's really, really strong. Dragon Ball Z was popular then, what do you expect? That's true. Nintendo era was when Dragon Balls was pretty high up there. He's clearly Master Roshi. I dare to say he is a lot better than Master Roshi. But then again, that's really hard to compare anyways. Because that's literally the only time we see him fighting in a sense. Magic table, indeed. I think about this. So I need to get the thorn, but... Alrighty, after all these cutscenes, we finally managed to move on. Let me check something real quick. Alright, just confirm where I need to go in order to grab our next unique item. Oh, do not use that thing. We need to switch to the dancing dagger. I just realized using the air lancet here is really, really bad, because there's enemies here that absorb wind as HP. These guys in particular. So we really do not want to have fairies use the air lancet here. Fun fact, these Almgeigers, or whatever they are called, they also start asleep. Unless you hit them physically, they don't actually attack you back. At least I think they do. I'm not really sure about that anymore. Also, by the way, we can skip a little cutscene here by just going whoop, one step down. There's another cutscene here with the tree and stuff. You like the Ninja Turtles reference in the GBA translation? I agree. So, for once, we actually do not care about getting the chicken knife or the other weapon at all. In fact, chicken knife would be bad overall. So I might get it later just for funsies, but for now, let's see. I do want to have an ice shield here for the higher physical block chance. And... max? Sure. Okay, upcoming is actually going to be a bit of a weird thing here for us. This are the two gargoyles. So the gargoyles will keep reviving each other if one of them dies, which is a problem. Because the idea is to kill them both simultaneously or, well, incapacitate one of them by putting it to sleep or stopping it or paralyzing it, something like that. Unfortunately, we cannot exactly do that. At least we cannot coordinate it, so we just hope that one of them uses fusion, which targets a random enemy. It can target itself, which is completely pointless, and fills that character up back to maximum MP and HP. So but my hope is that one of them uses fusion and then Fairies manage to one-shot the other one. That's basically, I feel like, the best path to victory for us right here. And fun fact, if they use fusion, they target the random ally. They can target themselves, and the idea is normally, of course, they sacrifice themselves to heal their ally to full both HP and MP, and then their ally is just gonna immediately revive them. But practically, because they both go at the exact same time, it's actually technically possible for both of these guys to use fusion at the same time, because they already chose what action they are going to take, and both of them decide to just go ahead and fusion, which again, they don't care whether their ally has low HP or whatnot, they just have a 1 in 3 chance to use it on their 4th turn. It's kind of weird. There's the fusion. We're lucky Ferris goes before the other guy, and doesn't quite one-shot it, unfortunately. So yeah, I've seen it once ever, where both of them decided to use fusion at the same time. It was kind of ridiculous. It might have been even the Bard. I do believe it was relatively recent. Hours later. Yeah, very might be. We need to get lucky with this one, but we have a lot of attempts to get lucky, so who knows? It might eventually work out. There's one fusion. Ferris gets an attack, hopefully. Okay, maybe. Second attempt already, so that's good. Go get some food and tea, we'll be here a while. I mean, I was actually starting considering getting some food. I don't think the breakfast is going to last me the entire day this time. Not even with additional soup, so I'll probably just go and actually make something. By the way, their revival does not cost any MP. And even if it did, whenever they use fusion, it also heals their MP, so running them out of MP is pretty much impossible. Let's put it this way. Running both of them out of MP is impossible. Running one of them out of MP is statistically improbable. At least we're getting a lot of procs, but they don't really help unless one of them uses fusion. Can Def reset their ATB? I'm actually not sure. But the thing is, even I assume Def resets their ATB. But because one of them takes an action in order to revive the other, they just synchronize their actions again, and it's entirely possible that they will both use fusion again, so it's not just a thing at the early stages of this. It's just a 1 in 9 chance every 4th turn. It's Yagamoth. Hey Millicent, welcome, how are you doing? It might actually set them back like a turn or so, but I don't think it does. I'm really not sure about that though. Oh, that guy died, but unfortunately it doesn't help. Unless Paris mystically just attacks in the exact same moment the other guy decided to use fusion, which is technically possible as well, just very, very unlikely. Alrighty, I'm going to go and grab myself some food, so be right back. Oh, it looks like eventually we won. Nice. AFK victory, the best victory. It is the way of the Berserker, indeed. Nice. I went for some dinner. No, I think that would take a bit too long to get one from here. There's one dinner place and I don't even know whether it's still open. It's only 7 PM. Not even a minute after I was gone. Nice. Very nice. Alright, we have 70 healing potions. We will soon not need a single one anymore. But until then, we will still need them. Alright, I'm going to equip the Wind Dagger, I suppose. Gonna go for the Aegis Shield. Bone Mail is fine, Elven Mantle is fine. Okay. Right when I stepped away. Oh, I should have worried a bit more, I suppose. Alrighty. In the pyramid here, we have a bunch of enemies to deal with. Let me tell you, we're gonna slay a few thousand of the enemies inside the pyramid here. Because this is going to be the beginning of our AFK grind in here. Not quite yet, per se. We will still need to grab 3 items actually in order to make that more reasonable. But we will get there sooner rather than later, I suppose. So these snakes here, they don't have that much HP. They do hit decently hard, but nothing too overwhelming. So there's 3 items we need as a solo berserker in order to effectively sustain in combat forever. And one of them is going to be initially a counterintuitive one. So there's a flame shield here. Do I want a flame shield? Let me think about this for a while. While snakes come and attack me, I suppose. Flame shield. What does it do for me? I don't really see an opportunity to ever use the flame shield per se. But I guess it might be good to have it, just in case I feel like there's an opportunity for it. Oh, that doesn't help. That's a back attack from a chest encounter. So these guys hit pretty hard. They have about 2000 HP, and we are in the back row. We should still be fine, I think. But not particularly pleasant. Hey Giluria, thank you for the host, I appreciate that. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well. And welcome everybody to the solo character challenge run with the Berserker, where we soon will go AFK for an indefinite amount of time until we're level 99. But up until now, it has been actually about 60 to 65 hours of grinding, and then finally being able to continue with the game, because we're level 88 already. Been a long grind. Hey Giluria, welcome, how are you doing? If I may ask, what were you doing over there? What did you stream today? Welcome to you as well, Boogaloo, and anybody else who may have joined us. Welcome to you, Zynathon. It is going quite fine, thank you. Hope the tire change went well. You're getting destroyed by Valkyrie Profile 2. Ooh. That's the one where they also have, like, Skies of Arcadia cactus and such, right? Okay, I figured we would take a lot more damage than that, because these enemies here have notoriously high attack power, but I guess not a big hurdle for our Berserker. We don't know. Vice, Aika, and Lloyd are usually the main ones. At least I thought that was the one. Okay, we got a flame shield. Snake's attack, which we one-shot anyways. The pretty fantastic RPG, nice. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. That's entirely possible. Alrighty, so in here, there is actually no random encounters, only enemies that, well, encounter us like these guys here. And the big problem actually is going to be trying to get past these guys. I'm actually going to equip the dancing dagger, because they can be confused, so that's helpful. I will also want to equip the flame shield actually right here. That's interesting. That's the ice shield. That's the flame shield. Because they do have the ability to use fire attack, which could heal us, which actually could be rather crucial. And aside from that, we don't really have any accessory that could help here. Right, we'll try to get through this room as quick as possible, hopefully getting in as few encounters as possible here. Because these guys can be really, really dangerous. Because they have Surge Beam. Remember Soul Cannon? Yeah, that one. Okay, we got a Sword Dance here, that's good. Whew. Surge Beam deals 50% of your maximum health and damage. So 2 Surge Beams, we are straight up dead. They cannot use that every single turn, but they can use it frequently enough that it is actually a huge problem. Alright, okay. We managed to get past there with just 1 encounter. I'm going to equip the Air Lancet again. And I want the Angel Ring here. And the Flame Shield is fine for most physical block. These guys here, if there's only 1 mummy remaining, it will actually use Dance of the Dead. Well, it might potentially use Dance of the Dead, which turns a random character into a zombie. And I just hope that they don't do that here. Because zombies actually do gain experience. And this is one of the few forced, basically boss encounters that does give experience, I think. If it doesn't give experience, it's kind of whatever. And yes, we go back for the Thornwood afterwards. Because this encounter here could just mean that I may have to reset, but I'm really not sure about it. Maybe I should have used the Dancing Dagger for a chance to confuse in one shot. Oh dear, the other guy needs 2 hits still. Okay, physical attack is good. We want to see him physically attack when he is alone here. Unfortunately he gets 2 more turns here, I think. That's 1. Just a physical attack, please, sir. Okay, we're fine. Alright. They have a 1 in 3 chance to use Dance of the Dead, which turns a random character into a zombie. Which we really didn't want to see there. Okay, and we have managed to reach the save point. Very nice. Okie dokie. So, before I get the Thornlock, I'm actually... No, I probably should just grab it, honestly. Now that we have a save point right here, we can still easily die to these machine head enemies. But at least we can get right back to it. So there's a bunch of chests here. There's 2 chests with elixirs. The one on the left contains a white robe, and the one in the center top is the one that has a very special headgear, a very unique headgear for us, that we will actually need for the solo Berserker in the end. Missile, 75% of our current health and damage, which is unpleasant because, well, now if we use the Surge Beam we are dead. Having more luck on exceptions here earlier thing. Actually, I haven't really tried. By the way, when he's confused, he uses the Revenge attack, which deals damage equivalent to however much HP you're missing. Well, most of the time anyways. But the Sword Dance would just one-shot him anyways. They were fine. Is that the black robe? I thought it was a white robe. Either way, it's a pretty decent mage armor. Trial being Kururu is pretty adorable. Nice. Kind of don't want to fight these guys, but I guess I don't really have much of a choice. Maybe I should just save after killing one of them each time, because they do not respawn. Black robe gives more magic power, yes. The only reason why you ever use a white robe is because you're a bard. And the regeneration magic takes helps you, but the additional magic power does not really help you. That's the only reason why you ever use a white robe. Because unfortunately vitality on a piece of equipment does not increase your maximum HP. Ew, not good. not enough healing, is it? Okay, sword dance. So yeah, the dancing dagger we have equipped is a rather special type of weapon. It has a 50% chance to proc the dance move rather than a regular attack. And the dance move is, well, a 1 in 4 chance to have each of the moves by itself. Dance moves can be Mystery Waltz, which absorbs MP from the enemy and gives it to your character. It's like the Black Mage spell of the equivalent nature. It can be like the Black Mage spell for Drain HP, which is called Jitterbug Duet, or something like that. It can be Tempting Tangle, which is this one right here, where if an enemy is susceptible to confusion, they will get confused. This is Mystery Waltz, by the way, which absorbs MP. Doesn't really do anything for us. And then they can also use Sword Dance, which is this one here. Sword Dance deals 4 times damage, never misses, and it's ridiculously powerful. It's a 1 in 4 for each of the dances, but because it's only a 50% chance to proc a dance move in the first place, it is effectively a 1 in 8 chance to get a dancing attack on each individual attack. Aspel or Osmose? Yes, indeed. This is why I got the Flame Shield, by the way. That's the first time we've seen the Flame Gun attack, or emission, I suppose. I'm starting to wonder whether they can use the Surge Beam on anything but their first turn. Some enemies can use certain moves only on their very first turn, but oh, never mind. Thank you for confirming that. I guess we've just gotten lucky so far. Come on, Ferris, give me something useful. Even regular physical attacks are really good. Because a Berserker is ridiculously high level. Alright, before I go and try to get the Thornlet, I'm going to go back and save. Because I do not exactly remember what the enemies... I think those are just more mummies over there. So we should be fine, probably. Do you have the Angel Ring still equipped? I do. I forgot to unequip it. Doesn't matter. So, by the way, these chests left right here of the sarcophagus are an elixir. They are effectively just a full heal out of combat for our Berserker, so saves us a bunch of high potions, I guess. Alright, second mummy fight. Now it's going to be easier to reset if I need to. It's just saved again. Good evening to you, Flare Star. Welcome. How are you doing? Righty. No Dance of the Dead. Okay. If he targets Ferris, that's actually fine with Dance of the Dead as well. Because she's immune to it thanks to the Angel Ring. Alrighty. And here we get our ultimate headpiece, or headgear equipment, which has the highest physical defense out of any headgear items. But we're not gonna equip it yet because what that also does, it actually inflicts HP leak status to your character permanently. And that drains your HP relatively rapidly. You could say also Dancing Dagger is better here. You could say that is not that big of a deal because we have so much HP on a Berserker, but in the long run it's a lot of HP lost. And we cannot heal in combat. Oh hi! So this is a mini-boss here. And basically he can blind us. Well, he could blind us. But because we have a bone mail equipped, we are immune to blind. He was only spawned once, if I'm not mistaken. The brothers originated in this game. I don't know them from any other game. Sekhmet though? Yeah, this is Sekhmet. Or Sekhmet. Yeah, so sword dance and we pretty much win as soon as that happens. So he basically tells us that his brother in the Twin Towers will avenge him. Too bad we will never actually go there. Plus, he's the easier of the two. We have 15 high potions left, which hopefully should be sufficient in order to get to our accessory, which will give us effectively infinite sustain, thanks to giving us regeneration combat. So close. Ah, and this is what I didn't want to see. So these ones... Oh, Ferris really doesn't want to see her either. Never mind. These ones keep summoning different enemies. These different enemies are kind of weird. They are a bit unusual compared to the standard ones, let's put it this way. And they are decently strong. The main problem usually dealing with these weird ladies is that they have a really high chance to make you not run away, as in running away from them is really, really difficult. And on top of that, they also have an additional feature where they just summon more and more enemies. It does not matter how many you defeat effectively. You just need to defeat her, and she has also a lot of physical evasion, so hitting her with physical attacks is kind of difficult. By the way, I'd like to point out Ferris is losing HP, because enemies that are undead, if you try to drain their HP, the effect gets reversed. And Ferris using Jitterbug do it twice already. Really doesn't help. 3 times now. So we're healing it instead. Using it again. I don't even know what these things really do. Huh. That's a lot of damage. Nice, that looked like Lightning 3. Alright, we're almost there. Just up these stairs now. There's no encounters in this room. Okay. Good. So, one of these chests, on the left or the right or the center, contains a ribbon, contains a guardian ring, and contains a gold needle. Alrighty, so we should now have a guard ring somewhere, whichever one that one might be. It has physical defense, and no, I think it has vitality? Which one is the guard ring? One of these rings gives me regeneration. I didn't pay attention as to which one I just picked up. Let's see. It's the angel ring. This is the flame ring. This is the salamander ring. Well, that's the salamander ring. Plus 5 vitality. Oh, there it is. It's right here at the top. Yeah, it also gives us a bunch of physical defense. Nice. Alrighty. Going back to the air knife. Also, in a weird kind of twist, we are gonna put Ferris into the last slot here. This is actually planned. And now, we need to get our final item. Not in this chest, unfortunately, that's just an elixir. There's more money on the right side, don't care. This chest over here is what I'm looking for. It is still guarded by enemies. So, the reason why I put Ferris into the last slot is, right now, she actually gains a tick of regeneration as soon as she enters combat. I have no idea why the 4th character slot does that, but that's just what the 4th character slot does. As soon as you enter combat, you get healed. So it's more efficient to have the character in the fourth character slot rather than the first one. Also, as you can see, our Berserker heals for 280 for each individual HP tick, and the enemies don't deal quite that much damage, well, if we get some good blocks in. But, a reminder, we don't actually have our highest defense headgear yet. They will pretty much deal 0 damage to us. But, the reason why I haven't equipped it yet is because of the HP leak status effect. Maybe it would have still been worthwhile. Either way, we have now, finally, our set complete of items right here. So this is the Earth Hammer, or the Gaia Hammer. It actually only has 2 more attack than the Air Life, but the big deal about it is that it deals full damage from the back row, so we can go into the back row now, and it has a 1 in 4 chance to proc Earthquake. Earthquake with basically no magic power means it only deals like 400-500 damage, which is really bad. However, we have our secret weapon, or well, secret headgear item, that reduces our magic power, I think by 3 or 4. Either way, this actually underflows our magic defense stat, our magic power stat. What this means, we now instead have 255 magic power. And yes, Rysalizer, Aegis Shield gives +1 magic power, which is a problem for Kara, but for Ferris it is not a problem in fact. Ferris does not mind having that +1 magic power, in fact it will just give her the exact maximum amount of magic power in the end. Kara on the other hand cannot equip an Aegis Shield in order to get that underflow glitch going. And Lena, she has too much magic power baseline, she will never get that magic power going at all. It's my finest 5 magic power apparently. So yeah, right now I have the Flame Shield equipped, which means we actually have 254 magic power right now. More magic power is a problem because the Thornlet gives you -5 magic power. And in order to underflow it, we effectively need to have -1 magic power or less. So Kara has, or Lena has +4 magic power as a baseline. So if you equip the Berserker has 0 magic power as a baseline, which means +4 if Lena is a Berserker, so Lena has 4 magic power. -5 with the Thornlet means it should be -1, but if she gets anything else that gives +1 magic power, she is actually going to not be able to underflow the magic, she exactly gets 0. I'm actually not entirely sure whether I need to have 254 magic power, or whether it's okay for me to... Also you can see 5000 damage to all enemies, 1 in 4 chance. So yeah, either way, is it really -4? Oh well. Guard Ring Bone Mail Thornet makes 30 magic evasion. Nice. Does the Bone Mail have any magic evasion? I don't remember it having any. The chests on the left contain dark matters. They are only useful for a chemist in this. It has 10? Oh, I did not realize that. That's convenient. So yeah, every time Ferris decides to use the Earthquake from the Earth Hammer, we just deal a ton of damage, and now with the Guard Ring, we heal way more than any enemy can ever deal to us, because especially since we are sitting in the back row now, there's virtually no way that we are going to die, not even with these things dealing like exactly 1000 damage with the pair attacks. Because we heal so frequently and so much. We're back to full again. I would also like to point out that ever since we started walking past the Soul Cannon, we haven't gained a level with Ferris, despite literally fighting everything along the way because, well, we have to. we have gotten down to 110,000 experience required for the next level, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. Ahama, thank you! Been a while indeed. Welcome back for 15 months of support. That's really kind of you. Well, I'm glad you enjoy your stay. How are you doing, Bahamut? How's it going? Yeah, Quake is ridiculously insanely good. If you can underflow your magic power. If you can't underflow your magic power, it is just kind of mediocre, honestly. Because 500 damage to all enemies at this point is not much, especially since only running 4 chance. Pretty good besides it being a Monday, I see. I hope you have a happy Monday despite that one way or another. Good morning. I like how the physical misses and then the proc occurs. Kinda neat. So, we are actually going to a rather specific spot in this pyramid here. And that spot will have no more of these enemies that just fly over our Quake attacks that cannot be hurt by it. And also that will be a spot where I can literally just hold down... No, don't fall! Oh my goodness. I blinked and decided to push up because I expected the bridge to come up. Derp. Either way, that spot will literally just hold down the A button. Is there no compass down here? Good. Just hold down the A button and up. And we will grind forever, thanks to our Guardring healing us constantly, thanks to the quick killing everything rather quickly. Oh, how the physical misses and then the proc occurs. You mean in the same attack? The physical attack does not happen when Queris decides to use an Earthquake here. Like, it looks like she's swinging the hammer, but it's actually just the animation for casting the spell instead. Alright, and we have arrived in the spot. This is a thing that just pushes you down. I can just hold up and A. And this will give us experience. Forever! Okay, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take a tally on how much experience we gain in 20 minutes. Let's put it this way. Because these enemies here are actually not that good in experience. Like, I dare to say the Chimera grind is still better, but because I can grind here infinitely effectively without ever dying, guaranteed, it is really, really nice. Alright, let's see. We currently have 6,223,056 experience. And we're going to... I'm gonna set a timer as soon as I start holding up here. And after 20 minutes, we're going to see how far we've gotten. And start. Thank you, Ontfi. Is it considered a tool to rubber band the controller down? Oh yeah, rubber band was another suggestion. No, I tried to use tape earlier. I need probably a rubber band actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, we're just gonna grab experience here. And that will be it until we reach level 99. This is going to take quite a long time, and I will probably just leave my console on overnight. And that's gonna be that, honestly. Like, there's nothing too special going on here. We will just eventually reach the enough stuff. I will do a bunch of research on whether certain other numbers might affect our like save state load-in and such, but we'll see. We will see. Robots, Sisyphean Dream Boy. Used to use the edge of the books for this kind of thing. My monitors are actually standing on books. It's what I actually used previously as well. Let me see. Maybe I can do that. Might be a bit tricky. Back to grinding, pretty much, but this time I don't have to do anything whatsoever. Hey Profness, how are you doing? Welcome. Yeah, I will probably just use an eraser and a rubber band in order to clamp down the buttons. Maybe even use my one-handed controller. By the way, if I'm going to let the emulator or console run overnight, I'm going to go ahead and just tally up how much experience we get. Per hour, I would say. Yeah, pretty much how much experience I get per hour, and then approximate where the timer should be once we reach level 99, rather than while letting the timer run the entire time too, because for that I would have to let my PC run, which I would rather not. Poor but Sisyphean Dream Boy. He's passed out and dreaming all game, and now he fails to climb the slope over and over. What a nightmare. Indeed. Also, we keep getting various items. I think those are Lamia's tiaras. I was actually considering for a while to just max out my money in order to have no variance in my inventory equipment, but I can just adjust these things in the emulator for testing. I want to keep that. Get healed by bio because we have a bone equip. Actually grinding for pyramid or just... we don't need to grind for the pyramid. The pyramid is literally over as soon as I go up these steps here on the left side instead of the right side. And we don't technically need to grind for any of the upcoming bosses, except maybe Necrophobia kind of benefits a bit from that. But for the most part it's literally just... we're grinding to 99 for the final boss, and this is the most convenient way to do so. This is not the fastest by any stretch, but it's the most convenient way where I don't have to do anything aside from holding down 2 buttons. That's that. We are 5 minutes in. This grind here. Also, let me see, how much experience do we need? We go from level 89, level 99. So we will need... oh, that's actually surprising. We are kind of most of the way there. Like, we have about 2/3, actually more than 2/3 of the experience required already to get to level 99. I'm mildly surprised, because that means grinding to 99 before Soul Cannon would actually not be that unreasonable. Because really, it's only like 3.7 million more experience than what we had at the beginning. So that's really good. Routing solo circle for speedrun now? No. Cannot realistically do that in a single sitting. And a segmented run would be pretty much exactly what I've just done right now. Let's see, we have 6,000 or 6623056 experience for this. Next number is going to be this one, then I'm going to... minutes grind before, after, difference. Next is... before, after, difference. Naizuka Blue, doing quite fine, thank you. How are you doing? Before, after, difference. Then experience per minute. Divided by 20. Years per hour would be this one. 60. Alright. I have everything set up, I just need the number now for when we tally up 20 minutes. I'm going to get the Sword and Shield download DLC. I haven't even looked at it yet, so probably not. I had my fun with the game. I even completed the Pokédex for some reason. But I don't really have much desire to play much more currently. There's other projects on my horizon. Plus, it's probably too expensive for my taste. Like, I don't even know what is exactly included. But it's an additional $30. It's like, is it really worth that much? They came out with that DLC really soon after the original game released. I think those slab encounters actually give probably the most experience. Each one of them doesn't have even that much XP. It's just that there's so many. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed Zuckerblue. By the way, in the background I now have running a minute Berserker with Earthquake and the Genji Shield. We have actually one interesting result. So, as expected, because the Earthquake seems to proc so infrequently, only 3 out of 22 attempts so far made it even to phase 2. Of those 3, one of them seemed to have a Reflect Lucky one to insta-kill the Almagest portion, which is effectively a 1 in 18 chance each time you get into phase 2. That one actually had all the parts really low on HP. Like a total HP amount of 65,000 HP remaining is really low. Maybe that is the way to go in the end. But getting the Berserker minute, it might be a nightmare and a quarter and a half. Gonna be a thing. Hey, Miss Zola. You're welcome. I like stupid challenge runs sometimes for some reason, and this is most certainly exactly in that category. Okay, we are about 14 minutes into this grind here. Once again, we're gonna see how much experience we gained after about 20-ish minutes. Then I will just plug in the numbers, and as long as I did everything correctly, I should have the experience per hour, approximately. Give or take a bunch, because there's probably some variance in how lucky we can get. Rabbis need to learn how to hoard carrot slices. Oh god, the carrot slices. I actually almost forgot about that part of Graveyard Keeper. That was great. Still remember back in high school getting to the final encounter in Final Fantasy X no Sphere Run. You want to try it again? Oh dear, good luck. I don't know. I would want to play through Final Fantasy X normally, because I've never done that yet. Because one of the most fun things for me in Final Fantasy X when I played it was that you had quite a bit of freedom on how you built your characters, at least if you used the professional sphere grid thing settings. Which is like way better for me, because I had more freedom in what I wanted to go for and what I chose. And I love having most of my characters having healing abilities. So it's kind of interesting. These games can be punishing? Oh yeah. This is the Super Nintendo version. You probably played the Game Boy Advance version, I imagine, which overall I'd have to say is probably the better casual experience as a whole. But I mainly played the Super Nintendo version with a fan translation, so this is kind of where I started the solo character challenge runs on. And because I decided to do the silly thing and get solo Berserker going, I figured I might as well go all the way at this point and just play on an original cartridge on the console, which is also why it's in Japanese, in case that might be of interest. I don't actually know Japanese. Play the SNES version, you're old. I imagine you played them on emulator then, with a fan translation. Unless you know Japanese. That's pretty awesome then. Because it's true, this is literally the first, like, let's say proper fan translation. It wasn't the first one, but this fan translation project definitely opened up the doors for more than just replacing text, and that was it in games. They actually did a lot of work on this one, fan translating and pioneering the concept. Pretty awesome. It's 17 minutes and 20 seconds so far. Have all the emulators, yeah. Honestly, that's what I did when I was a kid. When all these amazing games that I never had access to because... mainly actually because they weren't released over in Europe where I lived, or, well, they just weren't sold at stores because we kind of lived in a rather small village. And the closest video game store was like 30 minutes of car driving away, which is quite a distance over here. I know for Americans that's not necessarily that big of a deal nowadays. But yeah. I played a lot of emulator games and explored a lot. Until I got into online gaming. Still missing that Ted Woolsey touch. I can see that. Honestly, for like official translators, I have so much respect for those for the early SNES era, because those were effectively the pioneers of, let's say, professional translation. Not all of them got it right, as you might be able to tell from the PlayStation translation of Final Fantasy 5, because they just were not experienced in video games or even mythical lore, or Lufia 2 is another good example of that. But then there's some gems that actually did really good work. Like Earthbound is certainly one of them. That translation is really impressive to me. And hey Dark JDL, it's going quite fine, thank you. Alright, let's see how much experience we have right now. And this is, I think, 19 minutes or 32 seconds. Alright. I plug in the numbers real quick here. We have 6274556. We gained 51,500 experience in 20 minutes. Well, not quite 20 minutes, it's 19 minutes and 32 seconds. And this means we gain... oh. Divided by 60, not times 60. Duh. There we go. We gain... wait, no, this was right. We gain 1,500,000... no, actually that's not true. 158,191 experience per hour. So... the remaining experience we need would therefore be... this times -1 as I derp and divided by this. Alright, in order to reach level 99 we would have to run in place here for just over 21 hours. Alright, and I will probably just do this honestly offline. because I might as well have this running overnight and such. So I'm going to probably add about 21 hours. What is 0.3 for hours? Oh, whoopsie. That's okay. What is 0.3 for hours? Like 0.33 is about 20 minutes. I'm just gonna add like 21 hours and 20 minutes to the timer in the end here, in order to resume as soon as we are level 99. 18 minutes? Yeah, that sounds about right. I need to walk there and walk back for that matter, so I can add a little bit more. Huh, this is curious. I wonder if I can just hold left and not get sucked down by the sand there. Hey, our old friend! A blast from the past. That thing has actually more than 1000 HP. Good luck, Machzilla. Have a nice time. Alright, let's see. I'm just curious. I want to drop down, but I'm just also curious. Alright, I have to drop down. Okie dokie. So, about to walk back here. So this stream today, kind of as expected, is a bit shorter. Once again, I have an appointment that is due in actually only about an hour, and in about 3.5 to 4 hours from now, I have a Link to the Past randomized match for the German tournament, so I will want to prepare for that too. So I'm just gonna, well, prepare for the appointment and stuff until then. And tomorrow, I don't think I have anything planned tomorrow. At least I hope I don't. Because then I would forget about it. And we're gonna probably walk up to X-Death. Neo X-Death, that is. And maybe even set up for trying to mini Ferris. Because right now that actually might look like it's a promising concept. But before that we have to defeat Necrophobia. Necrophobia is going to be quite the monster, to say the least. Alrighty. Oh, right. Tomorrow I can't really walk up to Necrophobia or X-Death because I'm not gonna be level 99 by then. Huh. Might just do something else for once. Having the SNES run in the background. I also need to figure out how to hold down the buttons. Either way, that's it for me for today. Once again, a bit shorter, but I hope you enjoyed your stay anyways. Thank you everybody for watching, for listening and for lurking, and well, hopefully until next time. Take care and have a good night.